Let's look at the question, is the law of attraction real or fake? How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thought? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? After filming that segment, that interview with my daughter about her manifesting a Lexus, if you haven't watched that interview, make sure you check that out. It was just a day or a few days ago, depending on when these get posted. After that, we had a long discussion, and part of the questioning was about, is the law of attraction real or fake? But a lot of it really centered around, what is our responsibility? What is God's responsibility? And if we use the law of attraction, are we discounting God? Are we pushing Him out of it? So I wanted to address that. If you've had those questions in your mind, if you've been wondering, what the law of attraction is all about, how does God play His part in it, and how the whole thing works. I've got a few ideas that I'd like to share with you, and then I want you to mull them over. I want you to add them in the questions down, or in the comments down below, and let's get a discussion going on how we think this really works. Okay, so if you have ever experimented with the law of attraction, maybe you have manifested things in your life. I'm still working on trying to understand what a good terminology is. I think conscious creation works really well, but since we unconsciously create a lot of things in our lives, it doesn't include that. So I'm not exactly sure the terminology to use. But anyway, as my daughter and I had a discussion, she was a little concerned that in the presentations that I've been doing, it has been discounting God or God's part in things. So I wanted to clear that up. To make sure that I don't do that for you. I want to make sure that your faith is intact, that you have the proper perspective of your relationship with God and His involvement in anything that you attract or create or manifest or whatever in your life. So, okay, so anyway, some of the things that we talked about, and I would have loved to have filmed this, but I realized that she wouldn't have talked very openly had I had a camera on. So I'll just kind of relay a few of the things. One of the things, she felt that in her attracting that car, at 16 years old, she attracted a Lexus. Pretty amazing for her first starter car. It was a high mileage Lexus, yes, but it had leather interior, beautiful, it runs really well. Had some problems right at the beginning, but after fixing the water pump, it has run phenomenally. Has almost 400,000 miles on it. But the thing is she did a process to bring that into her life. And we had a discussion about what was her responsibility, what was God's responsibility, how did prayer fit into that, and how does the law of attraction fit into this? Well, one analogy that I shared with her, that I will share with you, is that the universe is kind of like Amazon. Now, Amazon is a company, yes, but it is also a collection of all these different little companies that work with Amazon's system to provide things to you. So, say you want a widget, you want, like I have a little coaster here. Maybe you want a coaster in your life. Maybe you want a new mouse. Well, you look online and you search to find that, and there are companies that have these little widgets and these little things that we want, and they want to sell them to you. Well, we use Amazon's wonderful network that brings it all together. So we make a request to Amazon that I'm looking for this lens cap. I want this one. We pick it out, we place our order, and then we sit back, and Amazon and the whole process brings it to us. That's how I see how the universe works in the things that we consciously create. And the way that we consciously or unconsciously create this is we have a thought, a desire in our lives, and we push that desire out to the universe. And the universe, again, kind of thinking like Amazon, the universe is this collection of intelligences. If you think about nature, nature is this whole biosphere of life. Anything from a single-celled organism to really complex organisms and creatures and mammals and animals and plants. And, you know, it's all this whole ecosystem. Well, the universe is like that, but with intelligences, with energy, with frequency, and how everything gets organized. And God is the creator and organizer of everything. He set it all in motion. So when we make a request to the universe, you know, it's God's universe. It's what He has designed and created. And whether we are consciously making that request or whether we are unconsciously making a request and we attract it into our life, it is the universe's responsibility to bring it to us. And a lot of, I think, what life is about, what our earth life is about, is learning to be more like our Father in heaven and have His power and be able to use His power responsibly. But anyway, we can attract that in our lives. I hope that makes sense to you, kind of thinking that Amazon kind of approach to how we can make a request to the universe. Okay, now, but I want to make sure that we understand what God's position is in all of this. And to put His position in place, I'm going to switch our analogy to that of farming and nature. And see what we do. Like, we believe that God is in charge of nature, right? You know, He is the God of the universe, the God of this world. He created all things. And He has, and in doing that, He has created these amazing systems. Well, we can tap into that system by understanding how it all works. And we can take a seed and we can get the soil all ready and we can turn it over and prep it and we can plant the seed and then we can water it and we can nourish it and fertilize it and do all these things, and we'll have the proper light, proper moisture, proper heat temperature, and then that will begin to grow. Now, do we make that seed grow? No, you know, and anyway, but does God come down and make that seed germinate and start to sprout? I don't think so. I think He's created this system so that it can automatically happen. And when we understand His system and we are in alignment with it, we can farm. We can create vast amounts of crops and do these wonderful things where we are creating with Him. I think we do ourselves a big disservice if we discount God in the farming process. If I was a farmer, I would always pray over my crops that they would increase and that they would grow. And I think in understanding, as I've learned about manifesting, as I've learned about consciously creating things, I have listened to a lot of very spiritual people who have great ideas and who have paid attention to the system, and they recognize the process for getting what they want, and they can kind of hack the system. A lot of times I think they discount God's involvement with it. And I really think that they discount God's connection with them, or their connection with God, being that we are God's children, and that therefore that's how we can even tap into His system, is that He has given us that power. We have His divine DNA. We are God's in training. We have that ability and that opportunity. So anyway, I hope that those analogies kind of clear things up for you. I want to make sure that as I share with you the process on how to do this, again, I don't know everything, certainly not, and I don't have a full understanding of how to properly manifest because I keep doing it wrong. But one of the things that I'm looking to do is to figure out how to do this and to do it consistently so that I can replicate good results and do them more consistent. You know, kind of like farming. I don't want to just grow one crop. I would like to grow a whole line of them, a whole field of them, so that as I increase my crops, that basically gives me more of an opportunity to impact others and to help others and to be a benefit in the world. I'm sure that you feel the same. I'm sure that you are here because you want to make an impact in the world. You want to live for something greater. And you're the kind of people I want to talk to because I want to help you figure out how this all works so that as you can create more abundance in your life, you can then have a greater impact in the world. Now, also in telling you all of this, it's fun that we can create abundance. It's fun that we can create better relationships, better health, that we have more control than we actually kind of think of on just a surface level. But in the grand scheme of things, this stuff doesn't really matter. This is not salvation producing faith. This is great faith, it's tester faith, it's training wheels faith, but it just basically is temporal. It lets us do some things temporary while we're here on earth. But really, to have that kind of faith that you need for salvation, there's a lot more involved with that, and I think that it means making commitments to God, keeping those commitments, and following the plans that He has set up. I don't prescribe stuff. You get to pick what you want to do in those realms, but I hope in learning how to do this stuff that you will have this desire to strengthen your relationship with God. You are His child. He loves you. He wants you to live the fullest life possible, and really ultimately to learn to be like Him, to be able to have His kind of power and wield that in a way that is beneficial to others. So above all, I hope that as you kind of look about the law of attraction, is it real, is it fake, what is our connection with God? I hope that as you evaluate all those things that you will strengthen your relationship with Him and take the opportunity to really discover who you are inside and live true to that so that you can just be the fullest expression of yourself. Are you looking to make the world a better place? Visit me at scottwilhite.com and sign up to become an Impact Insider. I'll keep you updated on the topics and ideas that may help you become your best, true, full self.